can be a very dangerous player to go up against. So you do have to be somewhat worried for them. But on the other hand, Slacks, of course, he's the upper for alternate aTTaX, and he's also very capable. He can be a little bit hit or miss, though, which is something that does kind of worry me.
Oh, we'll see exactly how that rolls out in terms of the AWP battles. I do imagine we'll see a couple of nasty clips from World Edit as we roll on. The knife round here to determine which team gets to start on the CT side. And I think that's pretty much how you'll expect the winner of the round to go. Alternate aTTaX finding the victory. They now get to decide. And by the looks of it, they stay on the T side. This is an interesting decision on Train. They can clock up some rounds early on, perhaps get themselves off to a good start. Or have they? No, they haven't made the decision yet. Never mind. I thought it restarted so quickly. I thought they'd already typed in stay very quickly. Now, they do decide to switch to CT, which I think is probably a better decision. Give them a shot. You know, if they can slow Winstrike down at the start, kind of lock them out of the first couple round, win the pistol, win the first full buy, things could start to look very good for them. Get into the mentality of Winstrike. But again, on the T side, we're going to see definitely the AWP of World Edit working those trains on A, getting the work done. Be a difficult one for alternate aTTaX to repel.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. They also have a very capable double op setup. I think they kind of swap around that second op a bit. Sometimes Mantu will take it, and I think at points I've also seen Dude pick it up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what way they're actually going to approach the CT side. But yeah, Winstrike, their new roster, having Bonded coming in, he can be a big boost in firepower for them. And it'll be interesting now to see what way they actually try and utilize them. And it looks like they're kind of starting things off with a pretty quick-paced round. I was looking to be towards B. They do actually bring it down Pop Dog, a couple players towards A main as well. And already pushing forward onto the A bomb site. Let's see if they can actually manage to find these frags, because initially Stefan found the opening, but that didn't last very long. Pretty quickly it's been pulled back, and Norbert also finds that aggression in behind Green Train. And another headshot on towards Dude, rather, leaving, of course, just Mantu now. He gets one, but with that, his position's now known.
Indeed, this is going to be a difficult one to clutch back. He finds one kill at least, but won't know where the bomb's going just yet. Be the rotation towards B? Well, evidently not, as we can already see them approaching on the A bomb site. Mantu going for the peek, but too late. We're already on the bomb site. The head peek comes in, and boom, taking the kill. So big bang. 1-0, Winstrike claim the early lead on the T side. They should be getting another round on the board as well. Will certainly help them out early on. Gaining confidence on the T side's where you want to be. You got to remember this is their map pick as well. But even as we move over to alternate aTTaX's map pick, it is still one that looks better for Winstrike overall. Overpass, definitely a map they're comfortable with. When we go down to the third of Dust, looks even better. It's going to be a hard series for alternate aTTaX to win. In my opinion, if they don't win it 2-0, they probably won't fare too well on Dust 2.
Yeah, I definitely do have to agree with that. I don't think they're bad maps by any means for alternate aTTaX. It's just that Winstrike are the better team on them overall. Have had, I guess, matches against better opponents and put up better scorelines. Right now getting a little bit awkward though. Some good damage has actually been put in by alternate. They've been able to drop World Edit and quick. Of course, Bondig just barely hanging on with 1 HP. Cressy takes one more onto Boomblitz rather before it does eventually get traded out. So a pretty successful round for alternate. They didn't put much investment at all into that one. They're able to actually pull off 3 frags, drop a few weapons. I think they will be pretty happy with how that went. But of course, now they come onto the buy. They have the op for Slacks. They have the Augs. M4 is a bit of utility as well. It's not perfect. And they also do actually lack a defuse kit, meaning it's going to come down to them actually connecting their shots in this round. And without those helmets also, I just realized those couple of SMGs that are still in play could be really dangerous.
Yeah, indeed. It's something Winstrike probably didn't hope for to be left over to SMGs, but something that could certainly work in their favor. As the kicks on, presence is spotted towards Ivy, but alternate don't want to make anything or force the issue rather. Not peeking towards Ivy again. Oh, that's a beautiful Molotov. Things get very dangerous now. Stefan pushed into the open. He takes Bondic down. It's with 10 HP, but making it back over towards the electric box. Get away with the man advantage early on the CT side. It may be extended further as Dude claims the fight towards upper B and backs off to the bomb site. This round is looking fantastic for alternate.
Yeah, a couple players slightly tagged up, but having that two-man advantage, definitely a good position to be in early on. There's only around 40 seconds remaining now for Winstrike to work with. And you can see because of that, they're being forced to try and actually go forward. They want to, I guess, force the fights, and they're not really in positions where they'd be able to trade off of each other. So they have to just straight up win these. World Edit does manage to find one. Norbert now looking to come from Pop Dog, and they have a bit of a triangle of doom set up here if they want to hit that A-bomb site. But they're taking their time and taking more casualties in the process.
Absolutely, down to just one. It's World Edit. We talked about him before. With the AK-47 in hand, though, and a 1 versus 4, things certainly don't look too good for him. He doesn't want to go for it. Doesn't want to risk the AK, so he's going for the save towards the T-spawn, where he should be able to carry this forward to the next round. It kind of forces his team, though, to take a bit of a full buy. They won't have a whole lot of money on World Edit, obviously. No. It's just going to be saving the 15. Well, I suppose if they wanted, they could eco here, play around the AK, come into the next round, then it would just be World Edit really suffering for. But they do want to go for the force buy. Pistols coming out. It's a utility here and there. We're going to see what they can do with 2 AK-47s alongside those pistolas. Upper B, no, Pop Dong's going to be in trouble. I see though. Right angle, going to avoid that nade. Get on out of there. Do seem to be angling towards A, which is interesting. The kind of long-range sight, not usually what you see from pistols. Cressy already dropped. Certainly look quite good for them. They cause a lot of kind of panic, I suppose, on the CT side at this point. There's only one player on B, and he could very easily split right now. Someone has to play information and see where they're going. Can't really be the B player. Sadly, dude's going to rush down in just a couple moments, and here comes the bits of utility they purchased up early on. Put off the rotations from helping him out.
Yeah, smoke's going in deep towards connector, so that definitely is going to complicate things. Dude has to step up massively, gets the first 2 kills. And a smoke down on the ramp actually delayed the rest of Winstrike from being able to push forward, Mitch. So suddenly a position that was looking pretty decent for Winstrike means they are instead going to be falling back into what looks to be a blender from Mantu. They were pretty much sandwiched in there. Their only option was to either commit to B or go down Pop Dog, and of course they didn't do either. Quickly cleaned up. In the end, aTTaX do make it a pretty clean round, only losing that one player, so they'll be pretty happy with how that went. And of course, with that now, Winstrike, after forcing up, they will have to take an eco into this upcoming round, likely allowing for Alternate to get a lead going early on.
And this is a very nice confidence boost for Alternate as well. I mean, that round was pretty much in the gutter, with the pick towards Pop and the stack towards B, but Dude managing to pull it back, and then Mantu on the big play up behind. Certainly going to help them out. And you got to remember, it wasn't against a full buy. That was a majority force with 2 AKs. Winstrike know that, so they're not going to be down in the dumps just yet. But like you said, Dean, it probably is going to lead to Alternate attacks pulling ahead in the series. On their CT side, though, it's not too much of a worry. Winstrike know they still have time to come back into this. By no means lost. This round maybe, though. They go to push out from upper B. Dude is watching it perfectly. Cressy towards the back lines as well, making sure down. Conventional round pushing, so the bomb will not be planted. Alternate aTTaX claim the lead 3-2. Strike are capable of getting their AKs out, and World Edit could glass cannon an AWP if he wants to, and indeed he does. I like the confidence.
Yeah, but now back on the buy. This is where they actually do manage to pull out an op. It's going to be on World Edit, of course, as you would expect, but it's glass cannon, so definitely not ideal. Doesn't really get any utility with it either. But you can see Winstrike, they want to try and make this play early on somehow else. They've left the op as a bit more of a supportive role, sitting in towards A main. I believe that is just going to spot in for anyone who may want to try and get aggressive. But it's Bondik early on who was able to get himself out into that Olaf position, and this could potentially catch someone off guard. Although Cressy is in a strong position to maybe try and just get a quick kill or 2. Okay, I was expecting him to just fall straight back off after the first, but he went for it. And of course, Bondik didn't really get a chance to pounce to get a trade at all. So a 5-on-3 now in play, and potentially even more damage to be taken towards Pop Dog as Norbert is trying to force the issue.
Last cannon AWP for World Edit doesn't work out as he's dropped after the first bullet, practically useless with the kick coming into play. Bondik towards the bomb side has got the support of his teammate on B, already taken down Slacks. Dropping a flashbang, faking out the going to be a B push, but look at the bomb position. And to out. Hold that with 45 seconds left. They begin the rotation back over. He knows. He hears them. ready for it. Kill is so important to the T side. They've already spotted out Mantu, though, as he swings out to try and find the frag. He does indeed, locking the bomb down and practically securing the round for his team already. As Bondic can pull off a nuts play, there's barely any time left, so it would be a Usain Bolt style sprint towards the bomb. Not able to get there in time. Taken down by the sights of Mantu, who's having a really good game to start things off. 7 for 2 right now. I gotta say, alternate aTTaX really playing out of their mind to start this off. They're really surprising us, especially considering how the pistol round went.
Yeah, and this is really what you need to see from them in this matchup, because as we said before, Winstrike overall definitely are the favored in this match, but alternate, as I said, they also do have the capability. It's just that they're a younger roster. They haven't been together as long. They have some new players who don't have as much experience, but they definitely still can get it done. And if they get off to good starts like this, if they can get the confidence going early on, just help their own mindset. Ooh, Stefan taking a lot of damage being spammed there through that pop dog smoke. Bit of panic sets in as he spams back. Eventually does just fall back to somewhere where he will be a little bit safer, rather. Of course, this round currently from Winstrike is just pistols, so they don't really want to be given too many chances for rifles to be picked up.
Yeah, you have to support the passive plays coming through from them. Giving away a rifle to these pistols would pretty much be mission accomplished for Winstrike, and they already find 1 kill as they maneuver their way towards the A bomb site. So it seems to alternate aTTaX. We can see, though, backup pop dog area, assuming alternate aTTaX will not be pushing forward. Gain that in. Up there, Bondic. Pressure on the side, so there takes some. Seeing the push coming together, because at the moment alternate aTTaX are under 0 pressure. Look at them, they're up for the picks. Aware that this is a very fragmented push from Winstrike. See the potential, but they'll just let it at least. So they can imagine what they can achieve in terms of fragging power. The 5 to 2. I feel like it's just a straight rush towards A on the back. Help them a little bit indecisively. Pop dog, but still pushing up on top of blue. Staggered push. All in on.
Yeah, normally with the pistols is actually when you see teams kind of show the more confidence and are willing to take those peaks a little bit more wildly, and especially a team like Winstrike, you'd expect World Edit, Bondic, for example, Boomblitch as well. He's a good bit of experience played in majors. You expect those sort of players to be a bit more confident in themselves and trying to actually help their teammates out. World Edit somehow still alive. Not sure how he managed to survive, but it was Quick who went down instead. Before eventually Boomblitch did trade. So a 4-on-3, a decent position for Winstrike to be in early on. The question is, can they actually manage to turn this one into a round win now?
Well, this time it's certainly warranted to play the slower style. They've got their AWP in play alongside rifles, so they're a little bit more favored when they eventually run into a one-on-one combat. Hope that there's going to be the correct spacing to find those trades. Alternate, very spread out at the moment. They're trying to play passive on B and A at the same time, which kind of leaves Stefan in a very isolated position. If they begin a push out main at the moment, he's pretty screwed if they utilize their Molotovs, push him into the open. Orbit as well, just above. There's the molly going down. Now pushes out preemptively. He expects that the push is going to come. Sadly, the flashbang still catches him. Wasn't quite far enough forward to avoid it. Winstrike with an open A bomb site, watching their backs, and alternate aTTaX should know that this round is lost already. Saving the weapons, probably the best decision. At this point, they can drop them to Mantu and Slacks to kind of even the economy out a little bit if they wanted. So I think Slacks was still taking AW.
Yeah, well, you'd expect probably Dude or Cressy to drop that up over, considering they do have such an abundance of money. But yeah, as you said, really the only option here is for them to save. Mandu could definitely take a drop anyway. Stefan can buy for himself. Slacks, as we said, probably will be dropped over and up. So they will have a pretty solid buy coming out in this next round, even if they don't manage to survive with all these weapons. With these two, rather. But that definitely would be the ideal thing for them to try and do. You can see they have just begun to back off over towards B. So yeah, another round comes in. Winstrike gonna actually pick up that third round for themselves. Put a little bit to a bit of a stop, rather, to the round win streak that we've seen from Alternate. But can Winstrike start to replicate that success repeatedly now is the question, and manage to actually grind it out up to a position they can be happy with. Still very early days, of course, but as we said, they are going to have to try and overcome at least one more buy from alternate before they can actually force them down onto an eco.
And here it is, the graphic I've been waiting for. Mantu with 10 kills and 4 deaths has certainly been very impactful player so far. The ADR of 122, but he's really shown up in 2 to 3 rounds where he's found the majority of those kills. And it's been his show to steal away. The rest of the team, though, still having a pretty evened out performance. I mean, this is the alternate attacks that we see ESL Meisterschaft. But also, Pick loses a lot of HP. Norbert still manages to find a kill even despite being low HP before being traded out. Certainly sets a good scene for Winstrike. That A hit, though, even back of it. Hatchman to go in for the play again on the flank. Caught out this time, certainly exploits the CT side, puts them in a very difficult spot. They've got one player again towards B. They're going to gamble on it. Seen Dude's ability to hold down there before. Actually slacks there. B rotating over to the bomb site. Play with the rifles. Try to suppress the push that is eventually going to come in. They don't have that info on the CT side just yet, though, which may prompt them to play a little bit more aggressive. Typically expect, and in fact, Dude is happy to play this safe style on A. He's going to try catch them as they push through Ivy if they do, or at least have an early rotation or early retake position, take the A bomb side and help the B players, giving a bit of pressure from connector. The problem with this is that there are still Molotovs in play, and indeed Bondik, as he pushes forward with a molly, he's going to be just systematically clearing these angles, looking to crab peek it, goes around, dodges Dude's crosshair, and that A is lost. I'd be surprised if alternate go in for this. Again, probably the save the better decision. They've got an AWP on the retake, 2v4. Bomb hasn't gone down just yet, so they could try to aggress forward, drop it before it's planted, play the time down, but chances of that versus the risk of losing AWP.
Yeah, you can see they realize that there's not really too much hope in going for it. Problem is, this time Quick is looking to actually try and hunt them down. Winstrike's money isn't great, but I think they're kind of in the mentality now where they know how much damage they've actually done to the money of alternate. If they can drop both of these weapons, then it does kind of put them in a tough position in the next round where if they want to buy, there will be at least some weaknesses. Stefan would be down onto a weaker weapon. Maybe everyone else will get a decent enough buy, but finally they would be running out of money in that bank. Is Quick going to find them in time, though? His name, not really something he's living up to currently, but he'll take it slow and steady, and he eventually makes it there to take down Slacks at least. Up shouldn't, I was going to say should be picked up, but it actually isn't retrieved in the end, so that's a pretty big find. Just dropping that up, it's going to cause a lot of reinvestment to have to come in just for Slacks to get that out. You can see then elsewhere, Stefan doesn't have a gun yet. Mantu with 2,800 left in the bank after getting his Kevlar and a molly. So that's going to be a FAMAS. So small weaknesses, they are able to get a decent buy overall, but it's certainly looking pretty good for Winstrike now as we do see them building up some confidence here on this T side.
One thing to note as well is a lot of the time when alternate attacks are winning games, especially convincingly, the difference that they show is the ability to play, or rather the ability to have Slacks up towards the top of the scoreboard, getting the AWP frags in. That's often a defining factor for them, and so far in this series, certainly putting some numbers up. At 2 rounds where he's had 2 or more kills. There he is already popping off, finding the opening for them. That's Bondik, going to be removed from play. That's the 3rd opening kill for this AWP on the CT side. Winstrike certainly feeling the hurt of it already. But over on B, Norbert catches him completely off guard. As he at least manages to take down Boomla, but not be enough with B bomb site in such a compromised position. The rotations begin from the CT side. Stefan fully aggressive. I think he's got a good read on what's happening here. He knows the bomb hasn't gone down just yet, so it has to be coming over if it is indeed going to be hit. And if it's going to be an A hit, Slacks is going to catch them on the cross, at least get the information and maybe even a kill.
And as we can see, Winstrike seem to have come to a decision. They're going to make their way towards B. Of course, Norbert had already managed to creep forward and does actually find a kill in the process as well. Problem is, they do end up losing World Edit. Meaning now it's a 2-on-3. Norbert actually wrapping around onto the A bomb site. Doesn't expect Mantu in heaven. And with that kill coming in now, this round pretty much over and done with. I don't think there's much that Quick can do. Drops down Pop Dog, and even if he did find that frag, there was still a player towards A main and then one towards heaven as well. And with the time that he had, all he could try and do was plant on A. So I don't think much was going to come from that. Alternate find themselves a 6th round. But Winstrike, of course, they will be able to repurchase up into this round. So it's going to be yet again a full buy from both sides. And still a very crucial round because Winstrike are beginning to bring this up into a half that they could be happy with. So Alternate, if they want to make this something that they're going to be, if they want to make this a convincing half, I guess is the way you want to put it, then they need to start showing that right now.
It's the benefit of winning that pistol round, right? Winstrike just get those free rounds on the board, that free round on the board afterwards, and on the side of terrain it can help out. You can see the odds not changing all too much, all in all. Considering coming into this round, got the AWP on Slags, M4s rotating around, but there's still a FAMAS and not a whole lot of utility 30 seconds in. So, Alternate not in the best of shape. Coming up to a minute left in the round, as Winstrike, they're not in terrible positions. They're making their way towards B. Slags is up close. If they push him down, correct spacing, it's a very right onto that AWP. Norbert tries to out, bait him out in the open. It's not going to happen, but at least the trade goes down for World Edit. Push begins down before the smoke even blooms. Why the hell not? They want that bomb plant desperately. Going down now, time is firmly on their side. World Edit just doesn't stop impressing with the AWP, taking down a second in the form of Cressy, but Alternate aTTaX already getting the trades back, keeping it into a scenario. Despite that though, Man2 is low HP. The time is not on the CT side as they have to push forward eventually with Winstrike already in very aggressive angles.
Yeah, this position from Boomblitz right now is really the one that can turn this round in their favor. Not as patient on the trigger as he could have been, but he gets an important frag. Does he expect Man2 to only now be rotating in from connector, though, is the question. Man2 gets one, but it doesn't matter, of course. The upshot comes in return. And there's going to be a 5th for Winstrike, and with that, I think now finally Alternate are in a position where they can't really get the full buyout. You can see averaging around 2,500. There's Slacks who's even on 1550, meaning even in the next round, I don't think he's going to be able to get a buyout. So this is definitely troublesome, a tough position for them to be in, especially at this point with Winstrike already on 5 rounds. It means they should get a 6th, and then depending on what we see Alternate decide on in the next round, the 7th also could look pretty likely.
Six rounds on the board for Winstrike that we're inevitably going to see. Puts them in a pretty nice position for the half and indeed for the map. Remember, this is a team not expecting to bomb out on the CT side. Certainly a map they're comfortable with. It is indeed their map pick, and if it wasn't, I'd still favor them coming into this matchup. Alternate certainly have had a good showing, but again, just giving over these 2 rounds at a time to Winstrike puts such a good kind of ball rolling. Score up. Definitely doing it this time. World Edit, they strike, and we've seen him be such a pivotal member of the rounds that they've won before. Advantage to play with though. Strike have certainly recovered some like this in the past. Scout could be a lot of day. Ondic, but deploys the pistol as he's going to push in and support his teammate. The USP actually wins out the fight. The restream's lagged.
Yes, it seems like we've had the issue that we had yesterday, Mitch. The I guess we could explain for people. The server's fine. Everyone's still playing the game right now, but we are casting it through a restream. Basically, we're given a live feed that we stream to you guys and we cast off of, rather. And that seems to have frozen. So that means we probably will have to go ahead and take a break for a couple of minutes, guys. We'll hit up the admins and make sure that this is resolved as quickly as possible. But until then, yeah, we will have to go ahead and send it over to a quick break. I'm sure Mitch can go ahead and do so.
Indeed, I was prepared for this. I have it from yesterday. The only problem is it's actually from the wrong screen. So we're gonna flick on some music anyways, and we'll be back in just a minute while I fix this.
artist, nervous with the cold drink. In my two hands saying no thanks. Like any nigga goes, cause I know things they shouldn't have told me. Now I'm thinking what for? Hanging by a sentence at the drugstore. Barely even steady out the front door. Hate my own things, but I love yours. Yeah, I really love yours. 7 in the afternoon, half asleep, count the cars. All I think about is you, constantly. That's the hard part. Tangled, found myself waking in the same clothes, shaking from my temple to my ankles. Sunny, but I need another raincoat. Waiting by a payphone, finally I coughed up some awful information that I thought of. Well, they think I've been messing with the wrong stuff. Nah, I've been messing with the right stuff. Yeah, I think I might just waiting for the call to come. Who could say it was easy? Sad about the bad I've done on my grave. Please believe me. Gotta come alive. I hear it all the time, but I'm quiet when you make me fade. Feel it coming back. Watch it turn black, but I'm brighter when you make me fade.
water is deeper than anything you've ever seen. Jump right in and swim until we freeze. I will remember your face, 'cause I am still in love with that place. When the stars are the only things we share, you'll be there. And I've got a plan, I've got an atlas in my hands. I'm gonna turn to listen to the lesson that I've learned. I've got a plan, I've got an atlas in my hands. I'm gonna turn to listen to the lesson that I've learned. Singing for the hands. See, my God is a good God and cares. I will remember your face, 'cause I am still in love with that place. When the stars are the only things we share.
Hello, 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 my dudes. We are ready to jump right on back into things as we have finally got it fixed. We're back on the server. We're ready to rumble. It seems while we were gone, Dean, the half's already ended, and it's 10-6 in favor of alternate attacks. It's a pretty juicy scoreline, considering Winstrike, of course, have just lost a pistol round, evidently. So it was a 9-6 score in the half, probably now going to be 11-6. Puts both teams on pretty good footing.
Yeah. Both teams at this point are in a pretty solid position. It should be alternate taking that 11-6 lead before we actually see Winstrike being able to get a buyout. So in this upcoming round, at least once the pause is removed, we should see Winstrike likely just sticking with those 5 USPs. I'd like to see them maybe take a bit of a gamble. Maybe even risk trying to get aggressive somewhere, like towards a main, maybe get up close and then push together, see if you can catch 1 to 2 players off guard and potentially just at least get a bit of damage done. We do know Winstrike, of course, pretty confident on the CT side. It is a map that they are strong on traditionally, and it seems like we do actually have 1 player missing from the server. Currently, I believe it's Quick, I think, who's gone, is it? No, it's not even Boomblitch. No, Boomblitch is there as well. Oh, Boomblitch is shown twice. Okay, that's why I'm confused.
Nervous with the cold drink in my 2 hands, saying no thanks. Like any way it goes, 'cause I know things they shouldn't have told me. Now I'm thinking what for? Hanging by a sentence at the drugstore, barely even steady at the front door. Hate my own things, but I love yours. Yeah, I really love yours. 7 in the afternoon, half asleep, count the cars. All I think about is you constantly. That's the hard part. found myself waking in the same clothes, shaking from my temple to my ankles. Sunny, but I need another raincoat. Waiting by a payphone, finally I coughed up some awful information that I thought of. Well, they think I've been messing with the wrong stuff. Nah, I've been messing with the right stuff. Yeah, I think I might just waiting for the call to come. Who could say it was easy? Sad about the bad I've done on my grave. Please believe me. Gotta come alive. I hear it all the time, but I'm quiet when you make me fade. Feel it coming back. Watch it turn black, but I'm brighter when you make me fade.
water is deeper than anything you've ever seen. Jump right in and swim until we freeze. I will remember your face. You say I'm still in love with that place. But when the stars are the only things we share, you'll be there. And I've got a plan. I've got an atlas in my hands. I'm gonna turn to listen to the lesson that I've learned. I've got a plan. I've got an atlas in my hands. I'm gonna turn to listen to the lesson that I've learned. Singing for the hands. See, my God is a good God and cares. I will remember your face. 'Cause I am still in love with that place. But when the stars are the only things we share, you'll be there. And I've got a plan. I've got an atlas in my hands. I'm gonna turn to listen to the lesson that I've learned. I've got a plan. I've got an atlas in my hands. I'm gonna turn to listen to the lesson that I've learned.
Turn to stone. I need to know where is your heart, just so I can find my own. Help me make peace, 'cause you keep pushing me around, but you just get me somehow. Like the stars in the sky, it's certain to be seen that I would like to make you mine. We're heading down this road, and I don't know where it leads, but I will learn to love you in time. Sun, and you've got flowers in your hands. You pick the petals one by one, just to find out where you stand. You've been running from the smoke, you've been caught up by the flame, falling headfirst through the dark, and everything just seems to change. 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 Just seems to tremble in my arms, be the air within my lungs, be the ground beneath my feet so I can stand. The words we both speak will get lost within our cheeks like they were written in the sand. With your arms around my neck and your hands upon my chest, I get this feeling that never goes away. And while we're stuck here falling, there's water out there calling. I've been building my own ship to sail away. We'll wait for the sun when you've got flowers in your hands. You pick the petals one by one, just to find out where you stand. You've been running from the smoke, you've been caught up by the flame, falling headfirst through the dark, and everything just seems to change. And everything just seems to change. 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 We'll wait for the sun when you've got flowers in your hands. You pick the petals one by one, just to find out where you stand.
snows. It's a permanent summer. Permanent summer. It's a permanent summer. Permanent summer. It's a permanent summer.
We lose ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Yet we keep coming back, 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 my friend. material world, where things that fade away, yet we keep coming back, 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 of things we know.
Hello everybody and welcome back. Apologies for the delay. We're finally back into things here. Norbert's made his way back on. 10-6 is the scoreline we left on. Alternate attacks just after winning the pistol round on Winstrike, coming in for a force by a scout on World Edit no less, alongside pistols to try and get the damage done on the back of his chip, or rather chunk damage. This is going to be an interesting round for Winstrike. Alternate attacks gearing towards the A-bomb side, going to give a lot of room for World Edit to work with if they do so.
Yeah, and there was a very long break, so I'm interested to see now how that's gonna I guess affect these teams, because there was I guess around a half an hour at least where they were kind of just sitting there doing nothing out of the action for a while, and that's probably not how Alternate would have actually looked to have been starting this round. One player being taken down early on. It is at least traded by Mantu, of course, but he does himself take quite a lot of damage in the process, being dropped to 12 HP. So this definitely still could get dangerous for Alternate. You have to, I guess, wait and see. They're going to move forward. I guess the positive is Winstrike are playing so passive on the A-bomb site that they should at least be able to get that bomb planted pretty safely.
As it goes down, though, got to be careful. Norbert coming around with CZ finds one before the trade eventually goes in for Stefan. Yeah, Scout's still in play, though. Winstrike can definitely get the damage done. I mean, Cressy and Mantu both one hit. Stefan the only player that can really contest them. Swing goes out, double kill, and the round's over. World Edit's got to find all three shots with the Scout. There's no time. He's bailing on out of there, looking to find Stefan as the repeat goes in, and indeed he lands it. He can even take down a third rifle, but at least now he should be able to save over an AK-47. Pretty good position. Cressy's in danger, peeking that over. World Edit just wipes the floor with them. 3 kills as the bomb explodes. He'll survive towards the back lines and pick up an AK-47. That's a great round for Winstrike all in all, considering the force buy. They managed to drop all the rifles. Now major reinvestment to come through from the T side.
Yeah, great damage. They'll be definitely happy with how that one went. The AK as well being carried over is a big positive. You can see Mantu, I believe, being the top performer currently for alternate attacks, and I believe on the entire server he's been having a pretty solid performance so far. Well, let's see if he can step it up now when it's needed, coming into these important gun rounds, and it's actually Cressy who's able to shed the first blood. Oh, and Mantu just walked straight out Pop Dog as well. No one was spotting that. Quick gets completely caught off guard, and now World Edit's under so much pressure.
Under pressure and taken down, unfortunately. Seems to be too much. Winstrike falling apart in this round. Another heavy investment. Walking away with just 1 kill is not what you want to be retrieving from it, but that's exactly what's going to happen as Bondic is alone. And frankly, has better chances if he can save this FAMAS. They have better chances in the next round in a 5 versus 5, even though we don't need to be backed up by base pistols. Still help a little bit more. Thing for alternate attacks right now is their momentum is starting to build up. Remember, Winstrike don't have a lot of money for the next round, so that's likely a 13-6 lead to develop for them. That in play, I mean, things get very scary for Winstrike. The favorites coming into this, 6 rounds on the T side, but just a couple of force buys that don't quite go their way, and they find themselves very far behind in the series.
Yeah, and this is their map choice. Up next will be Overpass, a map where I'd say alternate in theory should have a better chance than they did here on Train. So if Winstrike do let this one go, then heading onto Overpass, you do have to be somewhat worried for them. As we said, if it does go to Dust 2, though, we definitely would favor Winstrike there pretty heavily. So it's still a tough position. Even if they do lose this one, Winstrike can definitely still get back into it and win the series. But of course, as you said, if Alternate wanted to take this best of 3, they had to take it 2-0, and right now they're looking good to at least start it off with the first map.
Indeed, it's looking very convincing for them to start it off. Remember, the Winstrike still have the pistols in place, so the potential is there with Bondic and a FAMAS. It will be a very difficult round, though. No utility bar what Bondic has carried forward. As he mounts the green train, he needs to be cautious of Ivy. Peek from Stefan could come in at any moment, and he's swing on the bomb side, just spots one on Brown to where there should be Bondic around green as well. So he's got a little bit of information for his team. Coming through the smoke, they don't find anything. See, they're playing this slow. The alternate are quite scared of what awaits them on the other side. The smoke goes down towards CT though. Bondic knows that means the peek's coming in. Norbert through the smoke, doesn't find the kill though, and that is a devastating loss. It could have been a huge flank. Bond is taken down from both angles, and it's all over just like that. A team kill even comes in. 2 goes down to Cressy, but that's all that they lose on the alternate attack side. 13-6, a clean cut round for them. No kills coming through from Winstrike, but they still lose a player. That's life for you. Now the AWPs come out on the CT side, and it's a double op setup. Vic and World Edit taking it here on train. Desperate times call for desperate measures. This is a full investment from the CTs, and a loss here would cripple their chances of actually taking the victory.
Yeah, this is really their last chance to take this round and start building up the comeback. If they let this one go, then they're looking at a weak buy in the next round, wouldn't be able to get the full investment. And then they'll probably just have to try and play for overtime from that point forward. So definitely not ideal, but some good damage at least early on has been connected. Cressy dropped to 12 HP. Slacks takes a small bit of damage as well, of course, slightly weakened up now for the M4s and also the AUG. So it is a decent enough start, but let's see how things go now, because Alternate, they are setting up for what looks like they do want to eventually bring towards a play to get that control on Pop Dog. And right now Boomblitch is alone. Ooh, trying to bait it out with his legs right there. I was expecting maybe just a double drop to come in, but I decided against it. Boomblitch getting somewhat aggressive and waiting for the repeat now. Hoping he'll be able to catch someone off guard.
Low HP on Cressy early on. This round certainly favor a Winstrike. Rolling down, or variation of it. Dude manages to find the kill. Winstrike losing that early even play. I mean, they do get a good trade for it, and with Slacks down, actually, Cressy and Dude with combined HP of 13. This round could certainly swing out of control very, very quickly indeed. World Edit's already spotted Mantu out in the open, which prompts him to take a passive position behind the bomb site, but actually pushes through the connector now. Bomb going down, takes Norbert out. What is this from alternate attacks? They're absolutely walking all over Winstrike. Still 2 players, 3 players now low HP, but still the kills keep on rolling, and both AWPs left in play doesn't allow them to capitalize on the low HP unless they pull out their USPs, which is unlikely. So even though there's 25 HP between the whole team of alternate attacks, Winstrike won't be getting the benefit of that, sadly. This is attacks holding on to this round by a thread. They just about walk away with it, even with 3 players left alive. 14-6, Winstrike carrying 2 AWPs. So Dean said, at this point they would probably play for the overtime, but with those ops saved over, this likely prompts a full investment to come through. And alternate attacks could claim match point with no money left in the bank for Winstrike.
And it looks like they're just going to go in for the buy. It's actually pretty decent, all things considered. They have a double op setup at M4. They're going to be able to get Kevlar with that as well. Boomblitch has a Mag 7, and actually Norbert did manage to get an M4 as well. He didn't have that initially, so it's a pretty solid buy, all things considered, but it's not ideal, and they're going to have to step it up massively, and even then, they don't really have the room for mistakes to be made on the comeback, so this round will really only be the start of a very long and difficult journey, but let's see if they can manage to find it. Quick right now on the bomb site with the op, finds 1. Sadly, he will be pretty quickly traded, but not before Norbert himself is actually given a bit of a chance. He stops the bomb plant, taking 2 kills in the process, leaving only Slacks now in a clutch situation, and 1-on-2. He does actually check the flank. The last bullet from the AK connects the headshot. And now it's only World Edit that remains. He has the op. If he misses a shot on that op, he's in a lot of trouble. There is even a smoke for Slacks. He has a couple of flashes and a molly. And I believe he just threw a smoke down, got another one on his way back through A main. And with a minute remaining, he's going to look to just try and, I guess, catch him off guard. He's going to go ahead and reposition himself.
Attempting the bamboozle. World Edit seems to be a little bit cautious of it. Not checking Ivy. He's more concentrated towards team main. As time goes on and he doesn't spot at Slacks, he's certainly going to start to get cautious of the flank and Ivy. Swing comes out here from Slacks. He's been spotted. World Edit connects the shot. The 7th for Winstrike, and just about hanging on to their chances of finding a victory, certainly in regulation, but a loss there. I mean, if World Edit misses that shot, the game is practically over, because they would have had no money for the next round. And the same holds true for this one. You can see the investment is vast from Winstrike. Alternate attacks win here by themselves. This could be the end of map number 1. Very poor start to the series for Winstrike on their map pick. Look how the odds have shifted. mean, before we were like 1.5 to Winstrike, nearly 3 for alternate. Winstrike's certainly behind.
Cressy actually allowed to get a kill there from a main before going down. Thing is, though, 1 for 1, it's usually pretty decent, but they were able to, of course, get quite a bit of info because they had the player up close on a main. Boomblitch been able to find that, so they should at least have a bit of an idea about what's going on right now. Of course, alternate are preparing for a B hit. They already have one on the bomb site, a rotation back towards connector, I believe, being world edit with the op. But sadly, they do lose a player in the process. Dude actually been able to drop one right there, so this kind of pulls the rotation away. They've rotated one over towards connector, leaving, of course, now just Norbert on the actual bomb site himself. And even then, he's playing this very passively.
There is no potential for a save. I have to go for this. World Edit knows there's a player coming out of upper, but he focuses his attention towards ramp. Hits the shot. I think it's only a leg. Lands it on the step, and eventually, as Norbert continues to frag on the bomb site itself, leaving only Dude. 1 versus 3. He dragged off a couple of rotations, but now he's going to drag them to B and kill them. It's not going to happen as Norbert finishes off the round with a 3-piece. It's 14-8 Winstrike on the road to recovery, but they're still behind by 6. Alternate aTTaX constantly on the verge of finding the victory. Almost a collateral from World Edit. Started to get excited with that, but isn't to be, sadly.
Yeah, and Winstrike now starting to slowly build up some rounds, but it was still pretty late for them to start doing so. Again, they're in a position where they don't really have the room to make any mistakes. Otherwise, alternate will be sitting on map point already. So it's certainly going to be a tough one. They have a bit of investment in this round right now. Alternate do. They have some pistols coming out, a small bit of utility as well available on Dude and Cressy, alongside Kevlar for those two as well. So let's see, can they manage to drop at least a few weapons, keep the I guess the economy and the purchase kind of weak for Winstrike. At least early on, Bondic, though, he's managed to find a quick headshot to start things off.
You have to really look at how these rounds have been obtained from alternate aTTaX, and so far they've only won 1 this half versus a full buy, as Winstrike had that, they lost the pistol, they forced again, and then they were left over to the eco. So, with only the 1 full buy under their belt, in these rounds, Winstrike are certainly looking like the better team. I mean, certainly in this, there's only pistols for alternate aTTaX, and you're expecting very little to come. Dude, are you okay? What? He gets 1, 2, 3. Eventually doesn't find it onto Boomla, but my god, I mean, sure, I just ignored the first kill. I thought, yeah, whatever, it happens every now and then. It's just 1 kill for them, but he just keeps going. Look at this. Swings out stop sign. Boom, headshot. Oh, World Edit's watching me with an op. He's posted up, watching my position. No problem. Headshot. That's just beautiful. My god. It's that kind of CS. I mean, alternate, look, they've got 14 rounds. I don't mean to take anything away from them. They haven't been doing too well in the buy rounds, but they've shown a really, really strong showing on train. Way better than I expected. To be honest, I thought Winstrike would maybe allow double digits to come out for alternate, but that it would have been a relatively defining map for them. I'm surprised to see alternate ahead, especially by such a significant margin, and here's the opening kill that they've been looking for.
Yeah, Slacks, I mentioned him before we got into the action, that he definitely can be a very impactful player. He hasn't had the wildest game so far, but he's done his part. He's been doing his job. And of course, a crucial round here where he finds the opening pick, as you said. So a 5-on-4 to start things off, a bit of damage as well onto Boomblitch and Popdog. He's been playing this position pretty frequently now, so they should know about it. Molotov goes in, and a headshot from Cressy finishes him off. It will be traded back, but it's still a 4-on-3, of course, favouring alternate. With a minute remaining as well for them to really make a decision about where they want to head with this bomb. But speaking of which, the bomb, sure, it's back in a main right now, but Slacks is out on top of Blue Train. This could definitely be dangerous. I was going to say if he gets spotted, but he still manages to get the kill. Quick goes down, Bondic now up close and Sandwich in a worrisome position, trying to focus on it pretty much every angle. And as he gets 1 now, looking to try and get himself into a slightly safer position, continues the frag, saw the shadow, but sadly wasn't able to get the shots off in time and actually turned around. So that leaves it all onto Norbert. Bondic comes in with an absolutely heroic play, but is it enough now? Because it still comes down to Norbert and a 1-on-2.
Molotov will... the smoke will keep it safe from the Molotov, at least able to inch forward. They probably won't expect him to be out connector already. Here are the steps, though. This is where it gets dangerous because they just double peek, swing on each side of the bomb site, and find the kill. Finishing off the round in their favor. And the T side finally on 15 rounds here, despite Bondic was trying to do so much damage. Looked away from it just the wrong time. He said he saw the shadow, but unable to connect the kill. So we're down to 15-9 match point, or map point at least, for alternate attacks.
Yeah, this is just a terrible position for Winstrike to be in. They didn't really build up any economy throughout the rounds. They were winning, and of course that leaves them now with a very limited buy, a FAMAS, an MP9, a MAG-7, and a CZ. The only real weapon that they have, of course, is the op on towards World Edit, or rather, I guess the only preferable weapon is the op into the hands of World Edit. So definitely not a great position for them to be in. 6 rounds in a row now on the CT side of Train. It's not completely unheard of, though, so if they can manage to pick this one up, it's definitely doable for them to pull this back and take it towards overtime. Problem is, Alternate have just been looking so strong so far here on this map.
Indeed, this is really done a 180 on what we expected to see come through. As Alternate finding the opening kill there, dudes on the ball. Pressy takes down Buka's World Edit, tries to find something from Stop Sign, but stopped in his tracks. Unable to move around. Winstrike find themselves 2 versus 5. Big clutch needed to just keep them alive at this point. Norbert with a Mag-7 on the site is their main hope to find this. Misses the first shot and the second as well. That will surely result in his death. Now, unless Bondic can find an ace in a 1v5, it's going to be all over very soon. The FAMAS doesn't work out for him on that range. 16-9. Alternate attacks have claimed the victory on map number 1, much to our surprise.
Yeah, and again, that was the map choice of Winstrike. So Overpass coming up next now, a map that Alternate chose coming into the series, one that they're likely prepared for. You definitely do have to be worried for Winstrike, and I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen now on Overpass. Can Alternate actually keep up that performance?
Well, we're going to be finding out in just a couple of minutes. Until then, we got to take a quick break, and we'll catch you in a few.
take us back to times when lives were similar and times that all seemed easier. Don't be afraid, I'll be the one to guide you through this endless maze. Don't look so sad, your crying eyes won't dry. You gotta drive with both headlights so we can see the world and we'll run away together like you. Like you. Like you. Come close to me, I'll whisper in your ear the things that we could be. I'll drown us in the purple drapes that you were clothed in. We could live like royalty. I'll sing to you like a radio that's held beneath your window. Don't look so sad, your crying eyes won't dry. You've gotta drive with both headlights so we can see the world and we'll run away together like you.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
It's live, we're on, we're ready to go with Winstrike taking on alternate attacks with a